of the Director General Voice of Nigeria, Madam.
Hello. 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 Hello.
The Voice of Nigeria, Madam Jibrin Ndache. You are welcome, sir. He took his time to exchange pleasantries with the journalist here. He was at one time Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Niger State. And we also have Malam Rabi Ibrahim. Okay. He's on his way, I understand. He's here now. Oh, good. Malam Rabi Ibrahim, SA Media to the Honorable Minister. Can you please stand for recognition? Thank you. Some of our student leaders here with us. Senator Dosumu Abdul Samad, Temitope, SUG Senate President. Students, won't you clap for one of your own? Aha. Comrade Abdul Muiz Ademola Abdul Kadir, Chief Press Secretary to the Senate President. Wonderful. Okay. The student union is really getting big. Senator Nana Awaraji, Chief Whip of the Senate. Leaders of tomorrow, yes, things are taking shape from the school. Senator Khalid Nuruddin Abubakar, Clerk of the Senate of the Student Union. Thank you. But we still need to see more students here, so please mobilize your constituency. You still have a few minutes to do that for us. It's a youth-centric topic we are having, to be delivered by a minister of the Federal Republic. And I'm sure you will agree with me that we will be happy to see more. It will be better to see more students here. So please go ahead with the mobilizations. Yeah, I can see the numbers are improving, but we can still do better. Please go ahead. SU, please, don't fall my hand. Let me use that expression.
Live from our outside broadcast venue, this is Search FM.
All right. I have the honor to recognize the presence of the senator representing Niger South Senatorial District, Zone A, distinguished Senator Barrister Ndalikali Jia.
This is a live transmission broadcast of Search 92.3.
Okay, you lost us there for a minute. We are back. You know, something about outdoor broadcasting. They don't come without the, challenges. But the good thing is we've been able to fix the itch and we are back live at the University Auditorium main campus, Gideon Kano. My name is Winnie Feliz, and I'm here with.
There.
Okay, so I can't tell you categorically that the guest speaker is on ground, on campus, but is yet to make his way into the venue. I can tell you he's on ground because some members of his entourage are here already. Someone like the Director General, Chief Executive Officer of the Voice of Nigeria, person of Mr. Jibrin Babandache, is in the venue, and that's a clue as to where the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation is at the moment. So any minute from now, we expect him to make his entry into the venue. This is commentary reaching you live from the University Auditorium, main campus, Gideon Kano. Venue for the 34th Convocation Lecture of the Federal University of Technology, MINNA. The theme for the lecture once again is Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of National Reforms. You know the guest speaker already, okay? And the house is full. Yes, full, almost to capacity now. I think the attendance, the student population is now officially impressive. Okay.
It is your favorite Nigerian.
Hello.
My name is.
Transmitting live from our outside broadcast venue, this is Search FM.
Big Smosa.
Softly, your somebody make me falling, I'm falling. Chineke gozerega gozi, am I your number one? 200 million on karat, lasting 48 hours. Fuck all the babes, I'm nonchalant. Give me that, well dance, so. Now she a come my minado, I'm singing for you like Ricardo. Suck pepper, you back, give me that, well dance, so. Now she a come my minado, I'm singing for you like Ricardo. Suck pepper, you back, give me that. Dance for me, put down for me, oh mommy, give me that. Dance for me, put down for me, oh mommy, oh no. I don't see I saw a conquer, but this your only different thing you use. I wonder, sit on the player too, I love her. My baby, feeling me, I feel it. Only you, my baby, see nobody feel be like you. Down for me, why not so free? You're somebody making me falling, I'm falling. Chineke gossip, am I your number one? 200 million on karat, lasting 48 hours. Fuck all the babes, I'm nonchalant. Give me that, well dance, so. Now she a come my minado, I'm singing for you like Ricardo. Suck pepper, you back, give me that, well dance, so. Now she a come my minado, I'm singing for you like Ricardo. Suck pepper, you back, give me that. Dance for me, put down for me, oh mommy. Give me that.
search for any song you want.
Bro, your music sounds different. It sounds really good.
That's Spotify Premium. High quality audio that makes it feel like the artist is right here.
No wonder. Every beat just hits deep.
Transmitting live from our outside broadcast venue, this is Search FM.
All eyes on me, cause I came in a Lambo. Came in a She said, why you do me like this? You know I would do anything for your love. No matter, not do me anymore. Big things, me more like. Na money. And the money where they give me more. Energy. Big things, me more like.
DJ Loving, Kunkunchwa.
One girl know if you do me two follow for threesome. Risky things, me more like. Freaky things, me more like. Any of them, my mommy, daddy, man, you more like. She said, why you do me like this? You know I would do anything for your love. No matter, not do me anymore. Big things, me more like. Na money. And the money where they give me more. Energy. Big things, me more like.
Every day, me I dey meditate. You trust my before now regret. You trust my now, don't change. Okay, if not you got it on my bar. 6 years ago I was my mother. 2020 I do the banger. I wanna answer now.
Sometimes me I pray to the Lord. Many things I know fit talk. I don't wanna be poor. They grab on my body like booty. Sending my mom on some saburi. The job boxing, you shit by me. Fire. Oh yeah,
I'm a local tire. I want to take care of your canna. If you know be Messiah, bound you must be $500,000 sire. You got your canna, you got to Jimmy to you about me, only Maya. You know be money, Apumaka, over me, Marama, Barao Bouncer. You bless it, go ship from all that. Papa, Babi, go in your some of your bed. She look at telling the on the rocket. Once bitten, twice shot, all of my lot. If you choose that drug, I go take you overdose. Go in Japurata, keep my room. The credit I want to see for my phone.
Money fam, listen, I let it get different, gone. I don't know why, but mommy said gone. Bad girl, I'm addicted gone. Ìwọ lolólùfẹ́, my darling. Ìwọ lolólùfẹ́ mi, mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ. Ìwọ lolólùfẹ́, my darling. Ìwọ lolólùfẹ́ mi, mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ.
All right, so it's the biggest week in the university calendar, right? The Convocation Week, and this is the penultimate event, the Convocation Lecture, 34th Convocation Lecture, with the theme Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of National Reforms, to be delivered by the Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Malam Malagi Idris, Fellow NIPR. Okay, so it's about to go down. We're still awaiting the arrival of the guest speaker into the venue proper. But I'd like to remind you again that the Convocation Week is the biggest week on the university calendar. And in the build up to today, there's been a number of events observed already. And Dora, could you tell our listener some of the events? How did the week start? What followed? And what led us to where we are right now?
Of course, the week commenced, that was last week, Friday, on the 23rd of January 2026, starting with the Convocation Juma prayer, followed by the Convocation church service, and on Monday continued with the Vice Chancellor briefing, the Vice Chancellor press briefing, yes. And on Thursday, they had the final football match, down to yesterday, which was Friday, the exhibition of research and art. And we are here today for the Convocation Lecture, happening live now. And you can also view it on Search TV or Search FM. We are here with our dignitaries and students and members of the council. Most people are present. We are just waiting for our guest speaker in the person of Mohammed Idris Malagi, Minister of Information and National Orientation.
Yes, and he is a son of the soil. So it's going to be a very interesting, so many familiar faces is going to be seen here today. He's an Angelite and one that the state is very proud of. The Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Malam Malagi Idris, Fellow NIPR. Yes, the week started last Friday with Juma prayers, and Sunday it was time for a church service at the University Chapel. On Monday it was the time for the VC to have an interface with members of the press. It was at that event. It was live on Search FM as well, and on that day the VC gave a breakdown of the number of graduates that will be convoking tomorrow, with undergraduates, postgraduates, and some of the achievements. Okay, and some of the achievements recorded by university in the course of the past 1 year. Okay, I think more dignitaries are pouring into the venue, which is a signal that the guest speaker, yes, the guest speaker is about to make his way into the venue, and with his arrival we are going to get the Convocation Lecture on the way proper.
Kudu Santuraki, a round of applause for our Pro-Chancellor, please. Also joining us is a former Minister of Sports of the Federal Republic, Engineer Sani Ndanusa.
Okay, the guest speaker is in the building, and we have other important dignitaries standing on their feet to welcome him, and as members of the governing council of FET MINNA. They are in the building already.
He's also the investing director of public-private partnership.
So more acknowledgements of, I think the person who actually came into the venue was not the Honorable Minister, but the chairperson of the University Governing Council. Apologies for that. I think the minister is around, and it's just a matter of time. He's going to make his way into the venue. That was the chairman of the University Governing Council and his entourage that made their way into the University Auditorium, and not the Honorable Minister. We're still at the venue, University Auditorium, 1,000 capacity. That is filled almost to capacity at the moment, and we're waiting the arrival of the Honorable Minister to get this event underway proper. I was giving you a rundown of some of the events that have happened in the course of the week, starting on Friday with Jumu'ah prayers, Sunday church prayers at the University Chapel, Monday press briefing where the Vice Chancellor gave a rundown of achievements recorded over the past year and the number of students that will be convoking tomorrow. He also addressed some challenges the university is witnessing. For example, the problem of accommodation of students on campus, which he said has been there's a slight improvement compared to previous years. More students are being accommodated on campus, and he sees that medium to appeal to many Nigerians to partner with the university with regards to addressing the problem of accommodation on campus. He also announced that the Federal University of Technology MINNA has emerged the best specialized university in the country according to rankings by Higher Times Education, and the 7th best university overall in Nigeria. That's a big one, big accomplishment. FET MINNA is no stranger to being among the top universities in Nigeria, so it's refreshing to know that the tempo is being sustained even under the leadership of the present Vice Chancellor, Professor Farouk Adamokuta. There were exhibitions yesterday at the main campus, Gideon Kwano, exhibition of equipment made by students as well as staff. It's a university of technology, so there must be something you can produce or manufacture or model to showcase that it's not all about theoretical stuff, but things you can make to address challenges of the society. So that was done yesterday, and so many more things will happen tomorrow, I guess. Aside from the convocation proper, we expect to see some commissioning of projects on campus. So we are still expecting the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Malam Idris Malagi, to make his way into the venue and do justice to this convocation with the title Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of National Reforms.
Transmitting live from our outside broadcast venue, this is Search FM.
Yes, I can categorically tell you now that the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation is about to make his way into the venue. He is here. And we have principal officers at the university making their way out of the venue now to usher him into the university auditorium. He is here, the man we've been waiting for, the man of the moment, a son of the soil. We're talking about none other than the Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Malagi, fellow NIPR. He's making his way as I speak into the auditorium, and we have everyone on their feet as a sign of honor, respect, as he makes his way into the University Auditorium. Any minute from now, we're going to be having the national anthem, which will be followed by the University anthem, and we get this on the way proper. The Honorable Minister is in the building.
This is a live transmission broadcast of Search 92.3.
I can see him now acknowledging or shaking hands with principal officers of the university and other important dignitaries at the front row here at the University Auditorium. So as soon as he's done with the introductions, he's going to make his way up the podium to have his seat. Not before we have a rendition of the national anthem and the university anthem. So right now, what the minister is doing is shaking hands with principal officers of the university, as well as past vice chancellors of the university and other invited guests who are at the front row here at the University Auditorium. So the wait is over. In a matter of minutes, we're going to have this convocation lecture get underway proper. So he's done with the introductions. He's about to make his way up the podium to have his seat. And any moment from now, we're going to be having the national anthem, which will be followed by the university anthem. So people are back on their seat. Everyone was on their feet initially to welcome him, but people have since taken their seats, and they might be mandated to rise once again for the national anthem though. So we have members of the press all storming the podium to have a photograph or capture this moment.
University anthem.
You take me now, you take me now. We lift your name on high. Your cities to set the pace for others. Excellence is your goal. Federal United Minna Niger State, a citadel of learning, technological advancement of our land is your primary goal. To build a self-reliant force of sound mind and moral, who will make our nation relevant in global development. Few take me now, few take me now. We lift your flag up high. The pride of Nigeria you are, and you will ever be. Our love for you won't cease.
There you have it, the university anthem. And we have the compare of the event now trying to
build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so, with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Please be seated.
So, we expect members of the minister's entourage to be introduced, after which we will be having a citation of the Honorable Minister. Citation is just about his journey thus far, accolades, achievements, a kind of biography, if you will, which will be followed by the presentation of the lecture proper. So, ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over. The 34th Convocation of the Federal University of Technology, MINNA, is officially underway. Dora, what are your expectations?
I expect a lot from this lecture. I expect it to be a packed-filled lecture. I expect to go home with something new. So as other listeners, people that are listening to us will also go home with something new. I expect a lot, and everyone should also expect a lot.
Yes, that's about it. We expect people to garner knowledge with regards to the theme of the lecture, which is youth and nation building, navigating opportunities in an era of national reforms here at the University Auditorium. So many other dignitaries are being acknowledged their presence. We also have representatives of so many important dignitaries who could not make it down themselves physically.
Fellow Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Kakaki Nupe. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman Governing Council of this great university, Dr. Mohammed Kudusan Turaki. The Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Farouk Adamukuta, visiting Vice Chancellors, Rectors, and Principal Officers, Directors General and Heads of parastatals here present, members of the University Governing Council, Principal Officers of the university, former Principal Officers of this university, Deans and Directors, members of the University Senate, members of congregation, members of the alumni, members of staff, great Nigerian students, graduating students, gentlemen of the press, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome to the 34th Convocation Lecture of Nigeria Specialized University, second to none of its peers in Graduate Employability Index, the Federal University of Technology, MINNA. My name is Mustafa Al-Hassan, and I have the honor to serve as the Master of Ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of National Reforms, to be delivered by the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, about whom you get to know more later when his citation is read. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I will introduce members of this side. Allow me to once again recognize and welcome the distinguished senator representing Niger South Senatorial District, Senator Peter Ndalikai. His Excellency, the Governor of Niger State, Farmer Mohammed Umaru Bago, ably represented by the Commissioner of Information and Orientation, Honorable Obed Nuhu Nana. And our Convocation Lecturer and Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Kakakin Nupe, Fellow, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Meet our Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the University Governing Council, Dr. Mohammed Kudusan Turaki. And our Vice Chancellor, the Chief Executive of this university and Chairman of the occasion, Professor Farouk Adamu Kuta. Thank you, great Nigerian students. Thank you. We have the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Engineer, Professor Abdullahi Mohammed. Okay. The Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor and Chairman, University Ceremonies Committee, Professor Uno Isang Uno. The Registrar and Secretary to Council, Malam Danladi Malam. Our bossa, Dr. Adiza Goje, FCNA, FCTI, Chairman, Association of Bossers of Nigerian Universities. And the University Librarian, Professor Katamba Abubakar Saka. We also have the Chairperson of the University Seminar and Colloquiums Committee, Dr. Victoria Chukwu Emeka. Chairman, sir, allow me to recognize the presence of the university governing members of the University Governing Council here. I'll be reading through the list here. We have Pastor Timothy Ademola, Mrs. Aisha Aliu, Mrs. Asta Ndadio, Alhaji Abubakar Kimpa, Professor Chiemela Eyinaya Chima, Professor Caroline Alenok Ena, Professor Peter Ida, Professor Rashid Ojutiku, Professor Mohammed Seidu, Professor Aruna Ibrahim, Mr. Otumba Ogundeko. Thank you. We also have some of our former principal officers, some of our vice chancellors who are here with us. We have Professor Muhammad Saliu Audu, who is also the pro-chancellor and chairman of Governing Council of Federal University of Health Technology, Oturukpo. He was vice chancellor between 2007 and 2012. We have Professor Musbao Adewumi Akonji, fellow Academy of Science. He was VC between 2012 and 2017. We have a former Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Akim Osariemen Osunde. Deputy Vice Chancellor, former Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Suleiman Omeiza Sadiku. And the former Registrar and Secretary to Council, Mrs. Victoria Nao Kolo. Thank you. Also with us here, we have a former member of the House of...
Okay, introductions of principal officers and former principal officers of the university still ongoing at the University Auditorium here, main campus in Kidankwano, where everyone is set to listen to the guest lecturer, Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Malagi, who is going to do justice to the theme of the Convocation Lecture, Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of National Reforms. So, I think the speech, a copy of the speech has been distributed already. I do not want to gauge and tell you how, or give you an estimate of how long this lecture will run for, but it's always fun whenever we're having Convocation Lecture here at FUT MINNA, regardless of how brief or lengthy the lecture is. There's so much to learn, and I think today is not going to be any exception. So, as soon as the introductions are over, we're going to be having a citation of the guest lecturer, which will be followed by the delivery of his lecture proper. For now, you could hear the background voices of members of the Students' Union, FET MINNA.
Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, it is my honor and privilege to, before I call on the Vice Chancellor, let me quickly announce that this program is being streamed live on the university's various media handles. We have it showing live on www.fetminna.edu.com. It's being streamed live there. And we also have it going on the university's campus radio, Search FM 92.3 FM. Radio Niger, Honorable Minister, sir, Mr. Chairman. Radio Niger is taking this program live also. It's streaming also on www.bcns.radioniger.org.ng. The GM of the station is also here with us, Mohamed Kolos. Also on Radio Garden, Radio Tuner, Radio Box worldwide platforms. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Minister, we also have a former Minister of the Federal Republic, Engineer Sani Indanusa, here with us. At this juncture, allow me to respectfully invite our Vice Chancellor and Chairman of the occasion, Professor Farouk Adamukuta, to give us his welcome address. A round of applause for the VC, please.
Stepping up to the podium now is the Vice Chancellor of FET MINNA, Professor Farouk Adamukuta, who is going to be delivering his welcome address, and you could hear the background students of university giving the Vice Chancellor a rousing welcome as he steps up to the podium to deliver his address.
Thank you. The Senator representing Niger South, Senator Peter Ndali Kali, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Muhammad Idris, the representative of the Executive Governor of Niger State, my own brother, the Commissioner of Information, Niger State, the Pro-Chancellor and members of the University Governing Council, Federal University of Technology, MINNA, principal officers of the university, the chairman, members of the University Ceremonies Committee, deans of our various schools, directors of our various centers and units, distinguished members of the University Senate, heads of department, our dear students of this great university, visiting vice chancellors, visiting rectors and provosts, heads of media organization, both print and electronic media, other invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everybody. It is my pleasure to welcome the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation and members of the University Governing Council to Federal University of Technology, MINNA, Niger State, for the 34th Pre-Convocation Lecture, holding today, being Saturday, the 31st of January, 2026. On behalf of the university management, staff, students, and the host community, I welcome you all, members of the Minister's entourage and the Governing Council, to our great university that is progressing steadily. The title of today's lecture is Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of National Reforms. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that the title of this lecture is apt and timely. This is because the lecture is taking place at the time the federal government of Nigeria is working hard to ensure that the citizens of this country enjoy better living conditions. I therefore urge all of us to be attentive. At this juncture, let me specifically thank the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation Agency for accepting to deliver this year's Convocation Lecture. Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister. With your kind permission, the Honorable Minister, I would like to invite the University Orator to read the citation of this guest lecturer. And I want to say that may God continue to bless Federal University of Technology, MINNA. May God continue to bless Niger State. And may God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
You just heard the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, MINNA, Professor Adamu Farouk Kuta, thank the Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Malam Idris Malagi, for honoring the invitation to do justice to this year's 34th Convocation Lecture. And he also described the lecture, which is titled Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in the Area of National Reforms, as apt and timely as it is happening at a time when government is working hard to improve living conditions. What you are listening to right now is a citation of the guest lecturer.
Information and National Orientation. Mohammed Idris is a public servant, publisher, public relations professional, and politician appointed by President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Honorable Minister, sir, please. Appointed by President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in August 2023 as Nigeria's Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation. Prior to his appointment as Minister, Idris, a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, was the founder, chairman, and publisher of Blueprint newspapers. Founder and chairman of Bifocal Group, a public relations consultancy, as well as chairman of King's Broadcasting Limited, owners of the Abuja-based We 106.5 FM. He was also, until his appointment as minister, the General Secretary of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria. Idris served as Director of Strategic Communications for the All Progressives Congress, Congress's Tinubu and Shetima Presidential Campaign Council in the 2023 general elections. Born in Bako local government area of Niger State, Idris holds bachelor's and master's degrees in English from the Usmanu Mfodio University, Sokoto, 1987, and the Bayero University, Kano, in 1995, respectively. As the Honorable Minister of Information of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Idris is focused on revamping and modernizing Nigeria's public information systems, while also ensuring that an enabling environment is created for media practitioners and businesses to thrive in Nigeria. Married with children, his hobbies include reading and networking. While still standing on the already established protocol, may I respectfully request that we all stand up and give our convocation lecturer a rousing FUT MINNA warm welcome. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with the citation read, I have the honor and privilege to most respectfully invite the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, fellow Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Kakaki Nupe, to deliver the 34th Convocation Lecture of the Federal University of Technology, MINNA. Honorable Minister.
Here we go. The Convocation Lecture proper is about to be delivered by the Convocation Lecturer, Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Malam Idris Malagi, Fellow, NIPR. So, let's listen in, learn, and ask questions afterwards.
Thank you. Thank you, the Students' Union leader. Thank you for those very rousing words of welcome. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Niger State, my brother, my governor, here being ably represented by the Honorable Commissioner of Information, my colleague, Nuhu Obed. The distinguished senator representing Niger South, distinguished Senator Peter Ndalikali, the pro-chairman and chairman of council of Federal University of Technology, my own brother, Dr. Kudu Sanchoraki, the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, MINNA, Professor Kuta Adamu Kuta, the Registrar, and other distinguished principal officers of the university. The former Vice Chancellors here seated, too numerous to mention. Thank you for your fidelity to your institution. The leaders here, I can see my own older brother, a former minister in the Federal Republic, my older brother, Engineer Sani Ndanusa. Thank you for your services to the country and to our state. The former chairman of the APC Niger State, my own brother, Alaji Haluruji Kanchoro, my own friend and brother, Honorable Ibrahim Ebo. I'm also seeing former chief of staff former speaker to the Niger State House of Assembly, my own friend here, Honorable Marafa. Thank you for your friendship. I also have, as I wanted to mention earlier, the immediate past chief of staff to the governor of Niger State, Alhaji Balarebe, my political associates, my friends, very distinguished professors, and an area of all the academics here present. Thank you for this very warm reception. And thank you also to the students, especially their leadership. Thank you for those very interesting words of welcome. Thank you also, my friend, Alhaji Ruga, and many of you. Thank you to my friend, Malam Abdul Malik Muye, Alhaji Umaru Alasan. Let me say that my friend, Malam Abdul Malik, were together as students our friendship went back to September of 1983, when we were registering to become undergraduates of then University of Sokoto. Thank you for your friendship, Malam Abdul Malik. Thank you, everyone. For those who I have not been able to mention, especially the women here, thank you for this very warm and wonderful reception and for inviting me to be here. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on a day like this, nearly 40 years ago, about 39, 40 years ago, of course, at a different university, I was myself privileged to take part in my own convocation ceremony. So I very much know and share the depth and the breadth of your feelings as graduating students after years of being on this campus. You were here, you were reading, you were studying, you were sitting for examinations and eagerly looking forward to the real world. I know what it feels like to be both excited and nervous about what the future holds, and to wonder whether you have what it takes to survive out there. Today, you are on the cusp of that real world, about to step out of these proverbial four walls of higher learning, armed with your youth, with your energy, your expectations, and also your ambitions. Let me quickly assure you that these qualities will take you all very far. And all the life lessons you have learned up to this point will go a long way in helping you to take those very tentative steps as graduates. So, my fellow students, I urge you to relax and enjoy this very special day. This indeed is for all of you. I also consider myself very privileged to have the opportunity to stand before you today to deliver this 2026 Convocation Lecture. This, of course, makes me to join the very distinguished league of all convocation speakers. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to be here standing before you today. It is also especially pleasing for me that I'm doing this in a university in my own home state. Thank you. This, I must say, is one homecoming that I will cherish for a very long time to come. Thank you for this. I will start by congratulating all of you on this well-deserved milestone. Let me say that you have paid your dues. You have been found worthy in and out of classroom. And it is now time for you to celebrate the success that has led you to this juncture. And to do so with family, with friends, with classmates, and all the well-wishers you have invited. Distinguished graduates, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have chosen as the theme of this lecture, as you can see on the projector, youth and nation building, navigating opportunities in an era of national reforms. And I will now focus on unpacking that theme. Why did I choose that theme? I must say that the university was gracious enough to give me the liberty to take a topic or a theme as I so desire. Let me briefly explain why I chose it by looking at the key elements within it. Now, what is youth? I chose youth because this is a gathering with a heavy presence of young people. Of course, not everyone graduating here today is a youth, but most of you indeed are. Nigeria, like the rest of Africa, also happens to be a very youthful country, with half of our population under the age of 20. I want you to listen to this very carefully. Half of Nigeria's population is under the age of 20. And 3/4 of Nigeria is made up of young people under the age of 35. So if you meet every true Nigerian, chances are that one of them is going to be under 20 years. Why this is remarkable when you ponder. 1 out of every 2 Nigerians was born after the year 2005, meaning that by the time all of us here are either already working or retiring, already they have passed that crucible of that age. This is well after the introduction of the GSM telephony, meaning that most of these young people in this country are born after the year 2005. Now, for those of us who are on this side, this looks to us too close. But for them on the other side, it looks indeed too far. The telephone, the GSM telephony, was brought about halfway into the second term of President Olusegun Obasanjo's civilian administration. Now, it is instructive to note that while I'm here delivering this lecture, President Olusegun Obasanjo was invited at Ahmadu Bello University to do the same thing that I'm doing here today. For those of us who knew Nigeria before the advent of the GSM and who have witnessed the military era firsthand, this is truly a very striking realization. We are indeed becoming a minority in a rapidly growing country. So yes, the youth, you hold today and you also hold the future, because we are actually increasingly, unbelievably, a minority in our own country. I know those of us on this other side will find this very amusing. But let me also tell you this. In another 25 years, Nigeria will be the world's 3rd most populous country. In just 25 years, that is about 2050. May Allah make us to reach that time. So we will be the 3rd most populous country in the whole of the earth. Now, this is coming after India and after China, but let me also say that we will be ahead of the United States of America by that time in terms of our population. We'll be reaching a population of about 400 million people in 25 years' time. Now, these are 400 million people will include what has been projected to be the world's 2nd biggest population of people under 20. Meaning that in 25 years, Nigeria will be the 2nd country that will have a population whose people are under 20 years. So continue to think about this. What this means, of course, is that with the right education, with the right skills, and with the right preparation for the rapidly transforming workspaces of the 21st century, Nigeria will be an unstoppable global force in the arts, in sciences, in technology, and innovation. The future truly belongs to the youth. It is important for them to seize it from this moment and hold it very dearly to them, because they are indeed the prospects for tomorrow. The second major concept of this paper is what is called nation building. Nation building is a deliberate act of forging a sense of belonging and cohesive identity among a people. It is much more than building classrooms, building hospitals, building roads, and all those physical infrastructure that you can think about. It is about constructing a collective national mindset, transforming our geography into our unity, and also into the various communities that we have. This does not happen overnight. It takes sheer hard work, it takes resilience, it takes determination, and it takes that zeal that the Nigeria is known for you to continue to advance and make Nigeria such a big place. writing about the new African and Asian states that emerged following the wave of independence of the 1960s and the 1970s. In his 2022 book titled Nation Building, Why Some Countries Come Together While Others Fall Apart, the Swiss sociologist that is called Andreas Wimmer argues that, and I'm quoting now, creating an independent nation state with a flag, an army, an anthem, newly minted money, and freshly printed passports did not guarantee that citizens identified with the nation or that they are accepted or that they accept the authority of that state. Now, what this means is that because a nation has been carved out, because you have a common currency, because you have a common passport, because you have all the symbolism that it takes to say this is an ex-country, this indeed does not guarantee automatically that you are indeed a nation. So nation building will have to take more than this paraphernalia of a nation. It takes more than a flag, more than a national anthem, more than public institution. It also does not mean that the people of the nation will agree on everything. Now, it doesn't matter because you disagree within what is called a nation that you cannot build a nation. Disagreements are an inherent part of nationhood, so they are not mutually exclusive. It also does not mean that erasing our unique ethnic and regional identities will have to take place before a nation is forged together. It means, of course, that all voices will be heard and that there is a constant effort to guarantee inclusive representation in every sphere of our national life. Nigeria has taken such a giant step, and that is why we have the parliament, where almost every local government is represented in the process of making laws and also making governance easily doable in this country. Of course, there is no state in this country where there is not at least one minister representing it. This is part of the effort of the founding fathers to ensure that even though we may have differences, we may disagree about certain things, we surely will have to agree on our commonality, and we surely have to come together to build a prosperous nation. Since independence, successive federal administrations have tried to catalyze this process through the creation of new states and local governments, through national conferences, constitutional revisions, and interventions such as the federal character and the National Youth Service Scheme, amongst others. All these are attempts by our founding fathers, by those who have ruled this country before now, to ensure that even though we have these differences from state to state, from local government to local government, from region to region, we still have some of those things that hold us together. The Federal Character Commission was established to ensure that there is fair representation amongst all parts of this country. And of course, the National Youth Service Corps was designed and set up so that our youth can participate in areas where, other than the ones that they are from. I've discussed the youth, I've discussed nation building. I will now discuss the third concept, which is called the national reforms. This recognizes and seeks to amplify an inescapable fact that Nigeria is currently in the middle of some of the boldest and most ambitious reforms it has experienced in decades. And these are not happening by accident. They are the product of a deliberate vision and political will of a leader elected in 2023. And that leader is His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many of us are familiar with the most ambitious of these reforms: the removal of fuel subsidy, unification of the foreign exchange, and the new tax laws which took effect in January this year. I will speak in detail about some of this shortly, but let me return to our young people. Yes, young people matter. they do matter in a country like ours, which has them, you, of course, in abundance. Nigeria's youth is well represented in this auditorium today. They possess special qualities that set them apart. They have this very entrepreneurial energy, they have talent, they have innovation, and they also have drive. Kudos to our youth who are sitting down there. But of course, nation building matters too. In fact, it is essential for us to continue to exist. If a nation is not being built, what it means is that it is shrinking and it is also declining. And of course, reforms also matter. You need to continuously reform so that you can make amends as you trudge on in this journey of nation building. There is no nation building without reforms. It's impossible for you to build a nation if you don't continue to undertake these reforms. Reforms protect us from the trap that lack of them will have hitherto put us in. Through reforms, we move away from what is not working and entrench what is. You cannot continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect that you're going to have a different outcome. Indeed, that is madness. Now, let me discuss Nigeria's reform landscape since the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I will provide a more detailed overview of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's bold reforms vision when he assumed office on the 29th of May 2023. I will be focusing on both the thinking behind it and the practical realities and, of course, the outcomes of their implementation. Right from when he traversed the length and breadth of this country, campaigning and presenting his vision of renewed hope, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made it very clear to all of us that he will spearhead a fundamental reset of Nigeria's economic landscape, not for the sake of change alone, but because it was necessary and long overdue. Let us just ponder. By May of 2023, and sometimes it is easy to forget this, 26 states, or about 27, I think that is what the statistics has told us, of states in Nigeria out of 36, about 27 of them were unable to pay staff salaries. We seem to forget that. 27 out of 36 were unable to pay salaries. Others were owing as many as 8 months, 10 months, sometimes 1 year, sometimes more of salaries. Now, one of the outcomes of this reform is to ensure that this does not ever happen again. There is no governor in any part of our federation today that is unable to pay staff salaries. If he does that, if any governor does that, then it is out of his own deliberate choice. Therefore, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wasted no time declaring at Eagle Square, minutes into his inauguration speech, that petrol subsidy was gone. It was indeed a very audacious step. But the president was clear-headed as he was resolute. We all know that it was a very difficult decision that the president took. Almost every leading presidential candidate of that time said he was going to take away fuel subsidy. It was a big monster that was eating into the fabric of our economy. We were borrowing to do virtually everything. 97% of the income accruing to the federation account was used to service debt alone. I don't know how possible is it for any nation to survive under that kind of situation. Just imagine yourself as the head of a family where you are using 97% of your income to service only debt. What do you have left to pay school fees, to pay electricity bill, to bring food to the house, to bring dignity to your family? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, we cannot continue to do that. Indeed, let me also put it out, that by June of 2023, there was no provision whatsoever for anything called fuel subsidy in the budget. So the president actually had no choice. It was a decision, as tough as it was, that he had to take to lay a solid foundation for the economic prosperity of our country. Like I said, this was a very audacious step. With the announcement made, now the focus shifted to the implementation of that policy. As all of you know, it wasn't easy, and there was strong pushback. But we have a president and commander-in-chief who is a fearless veteran of reform battles. He has fought many, many reform battles when he was governor of Lagos State, and he is intending to continue to fight as a reformer in his journey to ensure that Nigeria is returned to its march to prosperity. Now, the next target was the foreign exchange regime. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates and students, not long ago, we had a situation where the Central Bank of Nigeria could not guarantee any importer, any genuine importer of the foreign exchange that he needed to even do his businesses, to do his trade. There were different exchange rates, multiple exchange rates. The rate you hear in the morning is not the one you hear in the afternoon, it's not the one you hear in the evening. There is no way planning and nation building can happen when you have this kind of conflicting situation. The arbitrage that was there had to be taken off so that you could at least plan. Today, let me say that there is no anybody that wants to import anything that will have a headache in accessing foreign exchange because of that decision taken by the president. Some may argue that our currency has been devalued. But the most important thing for you to pay attention to is that at least we have stability and you can plan, which is absolutely critical for any planning to occur. The president brought the same decisions to this task: clean up the central bank and tax the new governor with fixing the foreign exchange system. And like I said earlier, we have seen unprecedented clarity, transparency, and predictability in our markets. The third leg of the macroeconomic reform tripod is, of course, the tax reform. Some of us here in this hall are still unclear about what this tax reform means. But let me say that the 4 landmark tax acts, arguably the most important tax reforms in our history, were designed to ensure that at least we have stability. We also remove multiple tax systems within the same economy. The process, we all know, has been unfortunately clouded by misinformation and scaremongering. Only a few days ago, a group was putting it out there that because you are having a tax system that is being reformed, that the moment you put money into your account, someone will just go and debit your account and take it. There is no nation that does that. This is misinformation. This is fake news. Please arm yourself with the right knowledge before you make this commentary. The truth of the matter is this. In recent weeks, many salary earners have received higher take-home pay following its implementation. Those that were hitherto asked to pay taxes have now been taken out of that tax belt because of the reform that is happening. The goal of the tax system was never to take more from Nigerians. It is designed to simplify taxation and make it fairer and more transparent and more equitable for everyone to participate in. And we must not lose sight of the ultimate objective. This is going to give us more resources for the federal, for the state, and local governments to invest in infrastructure, in services, and in social programs. Let me tell you, distinguished graduates, guests, ladies and gentlemen, that because of this fundamental economic reform that the president has undertaken, there is no state in the federation that is not taking 2 times, sometimes 3 times, sometimes more than that, as their take home. Now, for any leader of any subnational government, this is designed for you to go back to the drawing board and plan for the future of your state. Any governor, and let me say this, any governor that does not take the advantage of this reform is doing so to the disadvantage of his people. There is enough for every state governor to at least plan to lay a solid foundation for the growth of his states. The renewed attention of domestic and foreign investors occasioned by these reforms is opening up opportunities in every sector of the economy. Digital technologies, agriculture, the creative economy, renewable energy, and many more. There is a phrase that went viral on the internet a few years ago among young Nigerians. Now them, they rush us. This is the situation in which Nigeria now finds itself. Many firms, many companies that had previously considered exiting the Nigerian market are now making a U-turn, given the scale and the steadiness of the stability we have seen, especially in the last 18 months, as the president's reforms begin to yield fruit. The Central Bank of Nigeria's monthly survey of business confidence has recorded 13 consecutive months of expansion, meaning that in the last 13 months, the central bank has been recording expansion in businesses in this country. Now, this demonstrates that serious investors are paying attention and responding positively to the economic reforms happening in this country. I will give you an example. Only last week, Shell, the oil company, its chief executive was around to see Mr. President. His name is Mr. Wael Sawan. He led a delegation to see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to attest to how attractive Nigeria has become as an investment destination for the oil and gas sector. And he said to the president, and I'm now quoting him, "We have really been in a space where we are very keen to invest in Nigeria. But I will say this has not always been the case. Your leadership and your vision have created an investment climate over the last few years that, I'll be very honest with you, propelled us to invest, especially as we compare to other investments around the world. Stability in today's environment carries a premium for corporates, that's all for all corporate entities, because we are investing not for one administration, meaning that they are not just investing for this administration. They are not investing for 5 or 10 years, but for 20, for 30, for 40 years. And in the case of Nigeria, for many decades. These are the words of Shell's PLC's Wael Sawan. What the present reforms are doing is creating massive waves of opportunity in every sector you can think of. And young Nigerians are emerging among the biggest beneficiaries of the new area of opportunities opening up in the era of national reforms. Nigeria continues to be Africa's most vibrant technology startup ecosystem, meaning that if you look at the continent of Africa, the startup for vibrant technology startups ecosystem is actually happening here in Nigeria, accounting for what is called the 5 unicorns, companies that are valued in excess of $1 billion. Technology companies that are valued in excess of $1 billion. 5 of them were founded here in Nigeria, and I'm going to name them. Now, this is, of course, the biggest that has ever happened in any country on the African continent. There is the company called Andela. We all know it. There's a company called InterSwitch. There is Opay. There is Flutterwave. And to this one that many of you know, there is also the Money Point. all these companies were founded in Nigeria before making their mark outside the borders of this country. The work that the Tinubu administration did to secure Nigeria's exit from the Financial Action Task Force Grey List in 2025 was another strong demonstration to the world that there is indeed a new template in town. I want you to go back to about the last quarter of 2025. There is what is called the delisting of Nigeria from the Financial Action Task Force. This is the international body that looks at the economies of all countries and finds out who among them is not engaged as a government in money laundering, in financing terrorism, and who among them is doing clean business in their own economy. Nigeria was before that time on that list. But in the last quarter of last year in Paris, Nigeria exited from that list, meaning that there is now a new focus, a new shift, a new drive by the international community to believe in what Nigeria is indeed doing. That grey listing, which the administration inherited, has significant negative implications for our ability to participate seamlessly in the global financial system. Before that time, if you went out to borrow or to engage in any financial system, the moment you click Nigeria, all the financial agencies around the world will first of all go and check that list. If your name is there, it means that you have higher risk. Even if you are borrowing, it means that you pay more. Whatever you do, special attention is now being paid on you, and not everyone will indeed even do business with you. Nigeria's exit from the list will therefore go a long way toward unlocking new opportunities for our banking and the fintech companies, as well as for all Nigerians doing business in the world. Distinguished graduates, guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me now touch on one of the biggest and most visible opportunities created for young Nigerians in the last 2 years. And this is the low-cost, long-term financing for students of our higher institutions through the National Education NEL Fund. I am sure that some of the graduates today or some of the students of this university are indeed beneficiaries of this very, very important scheme that was set up by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And since its launch in May of 2024, the president has just spent only 1 year in office. But today, there are more than 900,000 beneficiaries and counting. 900,000 beneficiaries, and it's still counting. Now, these 900,000, they have access to 174 billion naira already disbursed so far. This is not just for the payment of tuition. It is also for the payment of upkeep. Is there anyone in this hall who is benefiting or who has benefited from NELFO? Please put your hand together. Thank you. Now, through just this NEL fund, we have this incontrovertible proof that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda is real, it is functional, it is impactful, and it is indeed transformational. I'm sure that many here today are beneficiaries, like I said earlier, and that when the story of your academic journey is being told, I am sure that NEL Fund will feature prominently and positively. There's also the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, another brainchild of the president, which is creating new pipeline of affordable financing to support various categories of Nigerians, including the youth corps members. Everybody deserves a shot at building a comfortable life, and access to credit is a critical element in enabling this. The president thought that sometimes, as it was in the past, if you needed a car, if you needed a refrigerator, if you needed to buy anything, you can simply take advantage of this soft loan being provided by for the working class. That, of course, we saw the erosion of that as time went by. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is determined to recreate that so that you don't have to sweat to buy a car through this consumer credit. From the 3 million technical talents, I'm focusing only on the youth-focused programs now, to the Nigerian Jubilee Fellows Program, the Presidential Mentoring Initiative, and all that, all the Youth Academy Startup Program, the ongoing implementation of these reforms is aimed at making sure that all Nigerians, especially the young ones, recover their perceived lost glory, and now are on a journey in the belief in this country and joining the president in the march towards economic prosperity. I spoke earlier about massive wealth opportunity being created by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's reforms. But you see, these opportunities must be recognized. And when you recognize them, you have to take advantage of them. If you don't recognize them, if you don't take advantage of them, then there is no way you can benefit from them. Opportunities alone do not transform lives unless they are sought, they are seized, and they are also harnessed. The opportunities are there. It is up to you to seize them, to seek after them, and to also harness them so that your dream can be realized. They are merely potential in raw form. It's just like someone who is having minerals, the so-called rare earth metals, on his farmland. Unless you go and dig down and bring them out and harness them, there is no way. You just be sitting on top of money, you'll be sitting on top of prosperity without you knowing. It's like someone who has the potential to dig out also oil from his soil. You didn't make any effort, you didn't take any advantage of the opportunity. You will continue, of course, to live as if you don't have this wealth. So it is the duty for all of us, being spearheaded by our various leaders, in the federal, states, and local government, to help us to understand that these opportunities do exist and to also find a way of digging them out. Opportunities do not transform lives, and like I said, they are merely potentials if left untapped, cannot be useful to any community. It is therefore possible for affordable credit, student loans, or technical and vocational training programs to exist, and yet you do not benefit. I've heard where people, in my advocacy of the federal government programs, I've gone to places where some people will say they still do not believe that this NEL fund exists. It is up to you to try it. Don't live in any cynicism or in lack of awareness, because if you do that, then, of course, in your own mind and your own territory, these opportunities do not exist, either due to a lack of awareness or because you have given it to a very cynical voice that says, don't bother, you can't get it. You apply because this has been our tradition. Don't even bother. You don't have to bother. Nobody will give you. I don't know anybody in Abuja or anybody in government house, MINNA, so I will not get it. Try NEL fund. Try some of these other reforms by Mr. President and see if you don't get it. Because of how many government programs were run in the past, such cynicism is sometimes understandable. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has gone the extra mile to send a very strong message that these opportunities are open and are available to all Nigerians, regardless of gender, age, creed, ethnicity, tongue, region, or religion, or whatever. And we have seen multitudes of testimonials from people who have defied cynical thinking and chose instead to apply and to succeed. In conclusion, as I conclude, I will do so with a heartfelt message to today's graduating students. One phase of your life is ending, but another one is just beginning. It is time to transition from the relatively sheltered environment of the university campus into the wider world and beyond. So yes, while you chant Bosa, Bosa, know that this will end for you who are graduating today. No Bosa will bring food to your table when you leave this environment. You have to go out there, struggle it out, and edge a living for your people. To make the future count for all of you, you must be deliberate about your next steps. Ask yourselves, and I'm referring to the young people sitting at the back of this now, ask yourselves very important questions. Who am I? Just ask yourself, who am I? What do I want out of life? What do I want to be known for? What value do I carry? And what value can I add? It is pertinent for all of you to ask yourselves these very pertinent questions. To an employer, to the community as a whole, and to the world, these questions must be asked. And then, how can I improve the value? Nobody will employ you if he knows that you are not going to add value to his business or to his setup. I want to quote again Socrates, who said this, the famous Socrates. He said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Any life that is not examined is not worth living. Now, these words remain true today as they were over 2,000 years ago. No one who seeks a meaningful life can afford to proceed without reflection, without deliberate thought. For you to succeed, for you to move on, there must be this thought process in you. There must be this reflection in you that will propel you to the destination that you want to reach. We live in a world filled with distractions. There are, of course, so many distractions to this. Among the biggest of these are our mobile phones, true or false. Everyone today is carrying one. And many of you, as I speak, are already scrolling their phones. This, indeed, is a distraction for you, as it is of value to you, depending on what you choose to make of it. To succeed in life, you must master your time and attention. You cannot afford to be a slave to technology, which, if unchecked, can become the greatest thief of our time and our focus. As important, as relevant as technology is, it can steal your time, it can also steal your focus. The choice is yours to make. It is instructive that the motto of this university, Federal University of Technology, MINNA, is technology for empowerment. This phrase should always stay with you. You are not in technology for enslavement. You are in technology so that you can develop yourself. It should stay with you continuously, even after you leave this campus. What this also means is that technology should help you to empower yourself. It should help you to improve yourself. It should enable you. It should not distract you. It should not demean you. It should not diminish your human dignity. It should help you to achieve who you want to be as a human being. Now, you have to, for you to really progress, you have to learn the art of engaging with the unfolding reforms at various levels of government. Please engage. If you hear that there's a reform happening, engage yourself. Don't just sit there and say, nah, lie, nah, only people for Abuja. It's not true. Engage yourself. Try it out. If you don't succeed, then you can share your experience that this is indeed not working. We will not all become politicians. I don't expect that all of you will become politicians like me. But we must care about how we are governed. And we also must contribute our quota to raising the standard of governance that all of us. The youth, you have a duty to be part of that governance process that will enrich your life. You cannot afford to be passive bystanders, waiting for someone to drop 5,000 naira, to drop gari, to drop some noodles of rice for you because he's seeking for re-election. Please interrogate and interrogate, because that is what you need for your future. For those of you who have already gained valuable experience in campus politics and student leadership, and I can see many of you there, that experience can help for you to navigate the complexities of life beyond the university. Now, the point I'm making here is that no knowledge, no experience is ever wasted. But you have to know, as I said earlier, not all the things, not all the sloganeering on campus can really help you. You have to use that, change it into a meaningful process so that you can, gain from it. As fellow builders and shapers of Nigeria's greatness, and that's who you are, builders and shapers of Nigeria's greatness, we must never shy away from using our voices. We must not shy away from using our energy. We must also not shy away from our talents to make a difference wherever we find ourselves. It is up to you to make use of everything that God has given you for the advancement of yourself, your community, and your country. I want you, young people here, to see yourselves from this moment as builders. You have to see yourself as builders. When I say builders, I'm not talking about building a house or building a road. You are building a nation, building an economy, and building prosperity for yourselves. You can build from where you are with what you have. You do not need to wait until you have amassed all the wealth that you think you need to get or influence before contributing to nation building. Please start now. Use the powerful tools that are available to you, including the internet and digital technologies. Don't use it to spread fake news. Don't use it to be doing those things that you know in your inner man is not good for you. Build your personal brand. Build your voice. Build your confidence. Build your network. And then that, of course, all put together remains your professional capital. Give serious consideration to public service. Please do. Let me tell you my story. Until about 2019, I never cared to join public. I have all the opportunities. I never cared. I was in my corner doing my business. But a time will come in your life when, like me, you have to pay attention to this public service. And I want you to start thinking about it today. Join law enforcement agencies and intelligence services. Join the ministries, departments, and agencies at all levels of government. Future generation must emerge to build on the legacy of previous ones. And public service is one of the most important avenues of nation building. You cannot build a nation the way you want if you say, I don't care, I'm not a politician, I'm not in government, you are just in your corner. You have to be part of that process for you to build a nation very well. Some of the friends you have made on this campus will be lifelong companions, standing by you through both good times and challenging times. Do not be so eager to leave the campus that you leave friendships behind. As you step out of this, remember all those friends that you have. I came here with my friend whom, like I said earlier, we met on a campus about 43 years ago, registering as undergraduates at the then University of Sokoto. That companionship has remained till today. Some of those that are being made this and that are actually because of these processes of friendship. Please pay attention to serious friendship. You are a fortunate generation, you graduates. Today's technologies allow you to stay connected in ways we never could. In our time, we didn't have this opportunity to stay as connected as you have this opportunity today. In my time, it was easy to lose touch. If you are a friend, you are from the time you are posted for NYC somewhere, it takes sometimes 5 years, 10 years to even know where your friend is. That is no longer the case. These friends that you have can be in America, and you are today, because of technology, able to connect with them. You make calls, you make even video calls. So do not take this advantage for granted. This advantage that God has brought for you at this point in your lives. Never underestimate the value of mentors and professional networks. Your mentors and your professional network, please pay attention to them. Mentorship does not always have to be a face-to-face thing. Today's digital tools, your phones, your laptop, whatever you have, allow you to form a model of life. You can form models of people that you have never ever met because you have the opportunity of your digital tools to work with. You have to embrace lifelong learning. There will never be a time when you have learned enough. You must continue to learn, especially in an age when knowledge quickly becomes obsolete. What you know, what some of us know 10 years, 20 years ago, people no longer use that. If you use the same tools of yesteryears to assess things of today, you are most likely to lose the focus or know where it is going. In the past, I had a situation where When my dad brought newspapers as a civil servant, my father was in the public service, the civil service. When he brought newspapers home, we were waiting for him to leave the parlor. We would sneak in and carry these papers and read. Today, even as a publisher, I have children who are very well educated. You bring the newspapers home, they don't touch them. They don't touch them, they don't care for them. So when you ask, you are not reading newspaper, they say, Baba, this thing is on the phone now. What am I looking for? They are there on your phone. So it doesn't mean that they are not learning. It's just that they are in a place where you do not belong. So for you to actually meet with them, you have to go to where they are to meet with them. As the late Steve Jobs, and all of you remember Steve Jobs, told Stanford University. How many of you use iPhones and iPads? How many of you? Steve Jobs told Stanford University students at their commencement ceremony, he said, these are very famous quotes. Stay hungry, stay foolish. In other words, never allow complacency to set in. Always seek new knowledge and seek to break new ground. When he says you stay foolish, it means he's telling you that just assume that you don't know anything. Continue to be in search of knowledge. Pursue every opportunity to develop your skills and expand your knowledge. We are surrounded by online resources and certifications that can unlock doors for you in ways that were never imagined. Beyond those doors lies opportunities such as remote work, freelancing, and consulting. Today, everybody is a learner. You can stay in your room and continue to learn. Gone are the days when you have to go to the university library. I'm not saying that the library is not useful, please. What I'm saying is that you can also turn this your device into your own library. But of course, like I warned earlier, you have to be careful as you trudge along so that you don't consume what you don't need to. Artificial intelligence is a powerful tool that must be mastered and leveraged upon by professional advancement. The AI has come to stay, but it also comes with its downsides and pitfalls, requiring utmost care and safeguards. What I say today here, somebody, if he chooses, can use the tool of AI, carry the Vice Chancellor's head and put on my own and say something that I never said. We see that happening every day. So as useful as that is to you, and as indispensable as it is, you must know that there must be great care taken for you to discern what should be put out and what should not be. Distinguished graduates, guests, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is both a motherland and a fatherland, which means that it is meant to nurture, to protect, and to provide for us, the people who call it home, whose ancestors belong to this land. We have a lot of work ahead of us, all of us, to come to a place where we experience the country in the truest and most rewarding sense of citizenship. Now, this is also both ways. As the National Orientation Agency is saying, that there is this cord of relationship that exists between the citizen and his country. There are certain sets of values that we expect to be provided by our country, but there are also certain things that the country also expects you to do for them. It is a two-way relationship. Don't just say, country has to provide for me. Yes, country will provide that enabling environment for you. The duty of care, for example, belongs to all citizens, and you must embrace that. Instead of being discouraged or dismayed by the scale of the journey ahead, let us be energized, accepting that we are the architects of our nation's destiny, and that when we treat it well, despite its many imperfections, it will be good for all of us. On this note, graduates, guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will close by once again expressing by my very immense gratitude to the authorities of the Federal University of Technology, MINNA, for extending to me this very prestigious invitation. I don't take it for granted, to deliver the 2026 lecture. On this note, let me say Congratulations to our graduating students. Thank you, friend Vice President.
Thank you, sir.
Dites-moi d'où il vient, enfin je saurai.
Please be seated.
Maman dit que lorsqu'on cherche bien, on finit toujours par trouver.
Like we say in the NIPR, professionalism and excellence.
There you have it. We just heard the 34th Convocation Lecture of the Federal University of Technology, MINNA, delivered by Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Malam Mohammed Idris Malagi, fellow NIPR. He said a lot. He said a lot. He told us how or what inspired or influenced him to choose the theme for the lecture, which is Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of National Reforms. Then he painstakingly went down into the nitty-gritty on how the speech or address went. He talked about why he chose the youth. He talked about reforms and how the youth can key into these reforms to build the nation. He talked about the fact that half of Nigeria's present population falls under 20 years old, and that in another 25 years, Nigeria is going to be the second biggest nation in the world with a population of under 20s. That's a powerful one. So he mentioned that so that he could like create a premise why youth need to be engaged, so that by 2050 Nigeria will be a formidable force to be reckoned with in the global affairs of things. So he advised the youths, the graduates, to embrace technology but not be a slave to it. He commended Federal University of Technology, MINNA, for having a motto that says technology for empowerment, and encouraged youth to engage in governance and see themselves as nation builders and not be aloof when it comes to things that affect nation building and their future. Some of the reforms, talking about reforms, he broke down reforms into three main categories. I talked about removal of wage subsidy, unification of foreign exchange market, and tax reforms. And he went down into how each of these reforms have been impacting Nigerians, especially the youth, positively over the past couple of years. He reminded us that shortly before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power, about 26 or 27 states of the country were struggling to pay salaries. And due to one of those reforms, which is removal of subsidy, today no state in Nigeria can say they don't have funds to foot the bill with regards to payment of salaries. Let's listen in now. The Vice Chancellor is about to present the guest lecturer with a gift of appreciation for honoring this occasion.
Youth and nation building, navigating opportunities in an era of national reforms. At the 34th and the 43rd Founders Day ceremony, today, the 31st of January 2026. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Transmitting live from our outside broadcast venue, this is Search FM.
From where? Okay.
I want to retaliate.
Transmission broadcast of Search 92.3.
I also came with a few copies of the monthly magazine, the Ministry of Information and National Orientation. Everything that the government is doing is being produced here and is also on our online platforms. I want to give these copies to the Vice Chancellor so that he can place it at the university level.
The student body.
Okay, so talking about the reforms, there was this one spoken about, that's Nel Fund, and it was so surprising that Nel Fund has actually more than 900,000 beneficiaries. Like, this is so amazing and surprising. And down to the issue of investors, and he also said, that is our guest speaker, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, also said that in the last 13 months, central banks have recorded several expansions in Nigeria. That means more investors are coming to Nigeria, and which is a very, very good thing. And also, I'm talking about the removal of petrol subsidy. That has been a very, very good move too. And he also made a statement, I'll say a statement of advice, that opportunities do not transform lives, they just leave potentials untapped. So he advised as youths to learn the art of engaging in various reforms, and no knowledge is waste, no experience is waste.
Yes, indeed. But the guest speaker talked about fuel subsidy when he was mentioning some of the reforms. He acknowledged the hardship that greeted the introduction of removal of subsidy. And he said the statements made by the president during his inauguration that subsidy is gone, and I quote, was an audacious statement. And he acknowledged that there was indeed hardship that greeted it. But by and large, he made mention of some of the positives the removal of subsidy has brought to the country, such as the fact that many states in the country now receive twice, thrice, even more than what they used to receive as allocation. And he said any states where infrastructural growth or development is lacking in present day Nigeria, then the governor of such state might probably be doing his people no good deliberately, because they have all the funds needed to impact the lives of those in their states positively, courtesy of the improved pulse of the government due to the removal of subsidy. He talked about unification of foreign exchange, how that has largely discouraged planning and investment, and that the decision of the present administration to unify the foreign exchange market has brought about a whole level of confidence in the Nigerian government for investors to come and invest. That haphazard foreign exchange rates discourage planning and investment. To those who complain that the naira has been devalued, he partially acknowledged the fact, but prioritized the importance of stability for planning. That though the naira has devalued or has lost some of its value, the naira or the Nigerian economy today is more stable than it was before the present administration. He talked about tax reforms and the fact that so many persons are peddling misinformation and scaremongering. He advised the youth to investigate before coming to any conclusion with regards to tax reforms. I made mention of some persons saying depositing money in your account it's not advisable because government might just stretch in and take your money. He said nothing of such exists, that people should do their due diligence before they believe some of these things. So part of the reforms he talked about was Nel Fund, and what was remarkable to me was when he asked if there were any students in the auditorium who are beneficiaries of Nel Fund. I looked behind me and I saw so many hands go up. So Nel Fund is actually not a scam. It is real, and we have beneficiaries here at the University Auditorium, main campus, Gideon Kwano. So it's one of the positives that the minister highlighted from this present administration. So we've had representatives of the student union come to present a gift to the guest speaker. The vice chancellor also did that a little bit earlier. So what is left now is for some members of the audience to ask the minister some questions regarding his presentation of this 34th Convocation Lecture.
Recognize the presence of the Director, Press, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Alhaji Bawa Mokwa. And we also have the Chairman, Niger State Chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and Executive Director, Prestige FM MINNA, Malam Mahmoud Abdullahi. All here to show support to our Honorable Minister. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
This is Search FM.
may I now at this juncture most humbly invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration and Chairman University Ceremonies Committee, Professor Uno Esang Uno, to come and give the vote of thanks. Let's welcome him with an applause, please.
This is a live
Thank you very much, the
transmission
MC.
of Search 92.3.
Distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency the Governor of Niger State, ably represented in this program, our amiable Minister, Vice Chancellor, the Chairman of the Council, and Council members, please permit me to stand on existing protocol. I'm here to thank everyone that is present in this program, and you can understand that the lecture was very exciting. It was very interesting. If the people I represent, if they were not here, I would have said, on behalf of the council and the university community. But now that we are here together, we want to thank the minister and the guest speaker today, by all of us rising on our feet and put our hands together and say, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I can't stay alone because all of us are here. We thank you very much for what you have done. May God bless you, sir. Please be seated. And I also want to thank, as a university community, all the invited guests, all the people who are here with us. Please, we want to thank you. Thank you very much for what you have done and being here to grace this occasion. I want to tell you before you go, please, don't leave us halfway. The program is finishing tomorrow. We also invite your presence. As you are here, we also invite your presence to be with us tomorrow. I also thank the people behind the scene, the prayer warriors, those who have been praying for the success of the program. We also want to thank you. Thank you as a family. Thank you as a school community. Thank you as brothers and sisters. May God continue to bless you and grant you journey mercies. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, DVC, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that shortly, when we are done, there will be a group photograph outside. A number of them, I believe, because many groups here would like to have a photograph with the Honorable Minister. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's all rise and recite the national pledge to close this occasion. After the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the 34th Convocation Lecture. Thank you so much. Excellently delivered by the Honorable Minister. Please, let's stay where we are for the members of the head table to make their way out. After they are done, let's respectfully allow our former principal officers to follow the members of council and the rest of us. But if you want to do otherwise, you can take this way, please. Thank you. From the Information and Public
Okay,
Relations.
there you have it. The 34th Convocation Lecture of the Federal University of Technology MINNA has just come to an end here at the University Auditorium, main campus, Kidan Kwano. The lecture was titled Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of National Reforms, delivered by Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Malam Mohammed Idris Malaki, fellow NIPR, who is making his way out of the venue right now, along with his entourage, principal officers of the university, and invited guests from all over within Niger State and beyond. Well, from our commentary position here, it's been fun. I've not done this alone. I've been with
Bachelor.
So, by and large, generally, what you take about on the event today? Did you find it refreshing, revealing?
Yeah, I found the event impactful, exciting, and refreshing. Yeah, it was packed, it was filled, and
I can understand the excitement. This reminds you that the convocation week is not over yet. Tomorrow is the grand finale. Tomorrow's broadcast will be held at the Convocation Square, Suleiman Kumo Convocation Square here at the main campus, Gideon Kano. It starts at 10 a.m. No African time, just West African time. Okay, so I'll be speaking with another member of the commentary position who has not spoken a word yet. So, Mr. Daniel, what's your take overall on the presentation of this year's Convocation Lecture?
It was actually a very interesting convocation lecture. He addressed a lot of issues, and he was very particular about, national reforms that the president has been bringing since since he entered government. And I think he really hit a lot of topics that is concerning nation building. He did, particularly about the youth and all the reforms that affect the youth. For example, the NEL Fund, which has been going on since May 2024, and it has had over 900,000 applications, which the students have been benefiting from. Yes, so in retrospection, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation really, he really gave us a very wonderful convocation lecture.
Okay, that's a nice one. I mentioned earlier that when the Honorable Minister now we are when the Honorable Minister mentioned some of the positives from reforms undertaken by the present administration, he mentioned NEL Fund, and I looked behind me and I saw so many hands go up when he was asking about beneficiaries of NEL Fund. I think I caught up with one of the beneficiaries of NEL Fund here. He's going to introduce himself. Introduce yourself.
Good day, everyone. My name is Isaiah Afanga. Talking about the NEL Fund. The NEL Fund has really helped me right from 100 level, yeah? And so far, so good. Yeah, it has helped me and all my school fees and my feeding to some extent and all. I'm a good beneficiary of it, and thank God for the government. And it's a quick one. We thank God.
So it's not a scam.
It is not a scam.
Okay.
If you say it's a scam, then you are missing out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from Nigeria now. You have the time.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
You heard it there from one of the beneficiaries of NEL Fund. He also talked about the removal of subsidy and how states across the country are now having more than, I won't say more than enough, but they're having double, triple what they used to receive as allocation to run their respective states. I would be thanking every member of the Search Media here present who contributed in one way or the other to the success of this outdoor broadcast. I'm talking about likes of Junior Babatunde Bimode, Isaiah Owankwo. I'll be mentioning them as time goes on. Names are some of the Search. James Obest, you are acknowledged as well. So many persons here who contributed to the live broadcast of this 34th Convocation Lecture of the Federal University of Technology, MINNA. From here, I think it's time. I also like to thank those at the studio, which I'm going to be handing over to them right now. Victory, are you there? Over to you at the studio.